Welcome back to USA Car Reviews, the channel where we explore the cars that defined their era and still make enthusiasts excited decades later. Today we're going deep into one of the most iconic American performance cars of the late 90s, the 1999 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am WS6. If you were a car fan in the late 90s or early 2000s, this car was a dream machine. It carried the raw power and presence of a true muscle car, but it came wrapped in a design that screamed modern performance. Even today, it has a fan following that keeps getting bigger with time. So buckle up, because we're about to relive the magic of the WS6 Trans Am, a car that perfectly blended tradition with the technology of its era. When you first lay eyes on the 1999 Firebird Trans Am WS6, the styling alone leaves an impression. This was not a subtle car by any means. It had a low, aggressive stance, a sleek and aerodynamic body, and a front fascia that looked meaner than almost anything else on the road at that time. The WS6 package made it even more special, adding a unique hood with twin functional scoops that didn't just look intimidating but also fed cold air directly into the engine. The car's pop-up headlights gave it that signature 90s flair, and the wide rear end with those iconic taillights left no doubt about its muscle car DNA. Whether parked or blasting down the road, the Firebird Trans Am WS6 turned heads everywhere it went. But the real magic of this car wasn't just in how it looked, it was in what lived under the hood. The WS6 package in 1999 brought the 5.7-liter LS1 V8 engine, the same powerplant you'd find in the Corvette of that era. With the upgraded Ram air induction system, it produced 320 horsepower and 345 pound-feet of torque. In the late 90s, those were serious numbers, especially for a car that was priced far below exotic sports cars. And make no mistake, the Firebird Trans Am WS6 could back up its looks with real performance. 0 to 60 times hovered around 5 seconds flat, and with a quarter-mile time in the low 13s, it was a car that could hang with the best of its competition. One of the things that made the WS6 special was how it delivered that power. It wasn't just brute force. The car felt alive when you pressed the throttle. The sound of the LS1 engine roaring through the exhaust was pure muscle car music, deep and aggressive, yet refined compared to the older big block beasts of the 70s. For many enthusiasts, that sound alone is reason enough to love this car. Pontiac also gave the WS6 handling upgrades that made it more than just a straight-line performer. The WS6 package included a tuned suspension with stiffer springs and larger sway bars, along with upgraded tires and wheels. This gave the car sharper handling and more confidence in the corners. Sure, it was still a heavy car by sports car standards, but compared to the muscle cars of decades before, this was a machine that you could take on twisty back roads without feeling out of control. It blended American muscle with a hint of European handling, a rare balance at the time. Step inside the 1999 Firebird Trans Am WS6, and you'll find a cockpit that was all about the driver. The interior design is unmistakably late 90s GM, with a driver-focused dash, big analog gauges, and leather bucket seats that held you in place when the road got aggressive. It wasn't the most luxurious interior, but it did the job. Everything felt purposeful. The steering wheel was thick and sporty, the shifter was positioned for quick action, and there was enough tech for the time, including available Monsoon premium audio, power options, and even T-tops that could be removed for that classic open-air American muscle experience. On a summer night, few things matched the feeling of driving a WS6 with the T-tops off, V8 rumbling, and the world watching as you roared past. Another thing that makes the WS6 special is its place in history. By the late 90s, the muscle car market had been through decades of ups and downs. The 70s had killed the horsepower wars with emissions regulations, and the 80s were about downsizing and efficiency. But the 90s brought a resurgence, and the Firebird Trans Am WS6 was part of that new wave of performance. It represented a rebirth of the American muscle spirit. And while Pontiac as a brand no longer exists today, the WS6 stands as a reminder of what Pontiac did best: building cars with attitude, cars that weren't afraid to be bold. Collectors today know just how important the 1999 Firebird Trans Am WS6 is. Prices for clean, Low-mileage examples have been climbing steadily because enthusiasts understand this was one of the last great muscle cars of its kind. It was raw, it was loud, it was unapologetic, and it gave regular people access to Corvette-level performance without Corvette prices. That's why, even more than 2 decades later, the WS6 still commands respect. For those who own one, the car is more than just transportation, it's a piece of nostalgia, a symbol of freedom, and a connection to an era where cars had character. There's something about the way the WS6 looks and feels that just can't be duplicated today. Modern cars may be faster, more refined, and packed with technology, but they don't have the same soul. The Firebird Trans Am WS6 is a car you feel in your chest when you drive it. It gives you that grin every time you step on the gas, and that's something timeless. So whether you're a collector, an enthusiast, or someone who simply appreciates the history of American performance cars, the 1999 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am WS6 deserves a place in the conversation. It's a legend, a car that left its mark on automotive history, and one that continues to inspire passion today. This has been USA Car Reviews, bringing you closer to the cars that shaped our roads and our memories. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1999 Firebird Trans Am WS6, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what your favorite Trans Am memory is. Until next time, keep the engines roaring and the passion alive.